Now the question is, whose side is the police on? Why do they seem to treat eco-warriors with kid gloves whilst hammering motorists who just want to get to work? The question arises as disruptive eco-warriors have caused more public frustration this week after protesters irritated drivers by slow walking in front of busy central London traffic, with one such individual stepping out of his vehicle to try and move the activist out of the way. However, the motorist received a warning from the police that if he were to attempt to remove the protesters, this would be treated as assault. So how far should the police go to prevent this disruption? And are such actions needed to stop hindrance to hard-working citizens up and down the country? And should the police actually be a bit more sympathetic when those of us trying to get about our ordinary lawful business may be pushing at the edges?
They're building this facility that will be the home to a firearms armory, interrogation rooms, this according to the architectural plans, biological labs, media relations offices, I don't even know what this is, controlled quiet rooms, and intelligence facilities. The plans were drawn up by a firm in Winnipeg, and they kind of open a window into what climate enforcement looks like in Canada. Down the hall from the proposed firearms storage rooms are several evidence rooms, interrogation suites with adjacent recording rooms. According to a recently posted Indeed.com ad up in Canada, the ministry is searching to recruit a battalion of climate pollution officers with the name of the group, the Environmental Enforcement Directorate. Doesn't that sound a little communist, just that? The entire facility is 50,000 square feet. It will house hundreds of ECCC staff, and the Impact Assessment Act is what gave it power. This passed in the final days of Trudeau's majority government, and it gave sweeping power to ministerial enforcement officers. But nobody knew what that was. It was just in that bill, kind of like, the bill we just passed. Nobody really read it. Nobody knew what it was. The IIA empowers agents of the Ministry of Climate Change to enter premises without a warrant to verify compliance or prevent non-compliance with the Climate Change Act. Trudeau's climate police can enter any location that affects the environment to take photographs, access computer systems and communication devices, and direct any person to put any machinery, vehicle, or equipment in the place into operation or shut it down.
But they're going to tell you that it's necessary because, look at all of the forest fires that are happening due to climate change.
Mr. Kenny's not a scientist. I am. He's the CEO of the Weather Channel now. I was the founder of the Weather Channel, not the co-founder.
And I'm glad you did, because I am addicted to the Weather Channel. I watch a lot of cable news.
Now, hold on just a minute. I'm not done. And CNN has taken a very strong position on global warming that it is a consensus. Well, there is no consensus in science. Science isn't a vote. Science is about facts. And if you get down to the hard, cold facts, there's no question about it. Climate change is not happening. There is no significant man-made global warming now. There hasn't been any in the past, and there's no reason to expect any in the future. There's a whole lot of baloney, and yes, it has become a big political point of the Democratic Party and part of their platform, and I regret it's become political instead of scientific, but the science is on my side.
I don't think we're going to come to a conclusion about the topic right here. What I do wonder,
though,
is when you see...
you wouldn't allow it to happen on CNN. But I'm happy that I got on the air and got a chance to talk to your viewers. Hello, everybody. There is no global warming.
What I do wonder is when you see the government, when you see NASA, when you see other institutions say that 97% of climate scientists agree, do you think they're making it up? What I don't understand is how you square that.
Well, that's a manipulated figure, and let me explain it to you. The government puts out about $2.5 billion directly for climate research every year. It only gives that money to scientists who will produce scientific results that support the global warming hypothesis of the Democrat Party position. So they don't have any choice. If you're going to get the money, you got to support their position. Therefore, 97% of the scientific reports published support global warming. Why? Because those are the ones the government pays for, and that's where the money is. It's real simple, but that doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't make it true. That only makes it bought and paid for. The money goes in circles.
I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to try to refute you on the facts.
That's the truth.
I'll simply say that the vast majority...
Please stand back from this issue and let the two sides be on the air.
Of course it's not real, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to stop trying to fearmonger and feed you a bunch of bullshit about it.
A Canadian patient is the first in the world to be diagnosed with climate change. A senior citizen from Nelson in British Columbia suffered from breathing trouble and was said to be suffering due to the effects of climate change. Doctors said heat waves and poor air quality were responsible for her condition. Dr. Kyle Merritt was responsible for the diagnosis, which is reportedly the first ever to document a patient as suffering due to climate change.
If you believe climate change is really out here killing people, something is really wrong with you.
Of course, though, it wouldn't have anything to do with that thing that they pushed on everybody over the last several years. Now, would it? You know, that thing? You know, in the name of climate change, though, I wonder what the WEF is suggesting people do about it.
Meat. The WEF, which has ordered mainstream media outlets to begin pushing the narrative, wants to introduce an international policy that would require the majority of pet owners to euthanize their animals. CNN, always at the forefront in pushing the globalist agenda, has begun urging its viewers to starve their pets to death in an effort to combat climate change. CNN published an article on their website recently entitled, "Our pets are part of the climate problem. These tips can help you minimize their carbon footprints." In the article, the liberal sadists at CNN argue that the meat-heavy diet of many household pets is causing planet-warming gases to be released into the atmosphere. Responsible pet owners should trade in their best friend for a turtle for the planet. Snakes, turtles and reptiles can have a really low impact, CNN suggests. Your kitty cat and Pooch, CNN explains, are going to have to eat bugs just like you, assuming Klaus Schwab allows you to keep them at all in the future. Bloomberg, another mouthpiece for the global elite, jumped onto the bandwagon at the same time, urging pet owners to let their pets die to fight inflation. Hollywood celebrity Emma Thompson has gone even further, telling pet owners to eat their own pets to survive the so-called climate crisis. The proposed policy was met with outrage by animal rights groups and pet owners who argue that it's unethical and unnecessary. Many are also concerned about the lack of consultation with pet owners before such a drastic decision was made. Despite the backlash, the WEF maintains that this measure is necessary as it believes that reducing the number of pets around the world will help reduce global warming and other environmental issues caused by overpopulation. It also claims that the policy will help reduce animal cruelty, as it will ensure that no pet is subjected to neglect or mistreatment. The WEF has also come under fire for its lack of transparency in how this initiative was proposed and developed. The organisation has yet to provide any evidence that suggests euthanizing pets will have a positive impact on the environment or combat animal cruelty. However, if you've been paying attention to the WEF's policies in recent times, you'll realise that this is not really about saving the world. WEF policies all have one thing in common. They dehumanise, degrade and mock us.
I killed my dogs and ate them under direct orders from some kind of, I don't know, sweaty, big-gutted man from Australia.
But if you don't want to eat the bugs, nor do you wish to eat your pets, what other kind of meat alternatives are they going to be offering you in the future?
So basically we've got a new brand called Shoe Meat. Got it. Thank you. He's a cannibal. Don't worry about him. No worries, bro.
I want to taste.
You want to eat human beings?
Yeah. Cut me. Okay, who is this? Who am I eating?
This was actually, this was Bob.
Bob the Builder. Can't we fix it?
Well, anyone wants to eat it.
Human donut? Oh, no.
Let me try to cut it for you.
It's not human meat, is it?
Read the pamphlet before you start.
No, I'll try some. Yes, we can. I'll try some. Yes, we can.
Is that what I think it is?
No, it's not. Oh, no.
These are full-on cannibals. Have a look at yours.
I'm gonna go.
Bob is really good. Thanks, Bob. That must be his calf. Or his thigh, I reckon. Wow. You eat non-human animals?
Yeah.
Pigs are basically like a human.
Oh, bro, but it's just a line, bro.
They're like little intelligent, childlike beings that don't want to die. But these humans, they're giving consent. And if God didn't want us to eat humans, why did he make them out of meat?
Right. Your logic is funny.
People donating there. I'll try some.
But do you eat animals? Like pigs and cows and chickens?
Yeah, but that doesn't work.
Like, so it's more ethical, like, to eat someone who wanted to be eaten.
Because people aren't raised like that. So it's going to be hard for you to get people over the line, but one day they will. So that is repulsive.
When you get people to believe absurdities, you can then get them to commit atrocities. You know, I wonder what one of these people who believes in these absurdities looks like.
Focused up by injunctions that are intended to silence. What are you going to do? Protest. Great picnic time. We're a non-violent civil disobedience movement. You can tell from the tank top. You look like a we know that the changes in the law, the injunctions against us are irrelevant in comparison with mass starvation, with the genocidal policies that our government is pushing for, with their 100 new fossil fuel licenses in the North Sea. We've been told we can have no new fossil fuels. What an absolute wanker. And this isn't just radical activists saying that. It's the International Energy Agency. It's the Secretary General of the UN has said investment in new fossil fuel infrastructure is moral and economic madness. We cannot take any more fossil fuel production. And if fossil fuels keep getting licensed, we have more and more events like the one we've seen just last month in Pakistan, where 33 million people's homes were filled with floodwater.
That man appears to believe a great many absurdities, and it's only going to lead to devastation. The climate change narrative is a lie. It is bullshit. It has always been bullshit, and it's just a way to manipulate people. Until next time, folks, have a nice day.
Up your arse. You can shove your climate crisis up your arse. You can shove your climate crisis. You can shove your climate crisis. You can shove your climate crisis up your arse.